We're back with Family Health. On today's show, we've been talking about the 4 lifestyle choices that you've been making that may actually be hurting you and your family. One of the ones we really want to address today is making healthcare choices versus sick care obligations. If you've ever experienced a migraine or a headache that doesn't want to go away, or if you've ever spent the day working on a keyboard only to realize by the end of the day that your shoulders are burning, your neck is hurting, and your hands are starting to go numb and tingling, you've already gotten the warning signal that something is just not right. When you get that warning signal, it's time to pay attention and start figuring out structurally what is wrong and why your body is sending you a warning signal. But what most people have a tendency to do is to just mask the symptom, to just cover it up, to ignore it, or to take something that makes it where the body can't actually perceive the pain or feel the symptom. And when we do that, we allow the underlying problem to actually fester and get worse. So let's talk about moms, dads, and those of you who have ever experienced headaches and migraines. What is actually going on? When you're experiencing a headache, what's actually going on is you have decreased flow of blood up to the head, to the brain, to the scalp area, and to the muscles that surround and protect your skull. Now, when you've got that decreased flow of blood, it's going to really start to give you that pounding headache. But most people never stop to think, why am I experiencing this? Why am I decreasing the flow of blood? Now, anyone who's ever drank alcohol and maybe experienced a hangover the next morning understands that it's probably because you've got a decreased amount of fluid in your body, and water will help. But that's not the typical headache that we're talking about. The type of headache we're talking about is the one that most people will say they experience on a regular basis, or it's their regular headache. Ever had one of those? So those regular headaches are telling you that something is just not right. We have a tendency to want to look at the problem, but let's look at the cause. Let's see what could be interfering with your body's ability to function properly. Well, if you spend your day, as most people do, working on a keyboard or a computer, sitting at a desk with your arms out in front of you and your chin down, eyes down, then you're putting yourself into an abnormal position. And this abnormal position over time will affect the structures of your body. Specifically, the muscles that hold your head in place, the ligaments that hold the bones in their proper position, and the bones that hold your head up are going to be in an abnormal position for 6, 7, 8 hours that you're sitting in this position, and then maybe if you're sitting in this position driving home, and then you sit down on the computer and do a little bit more work. Well, if you spend too much time in this abnormal position with the chin down, arms forward, eyes looking down, you're actually changing the structural biomechanics of your spine. And when you change the structural habits and the structural position of your body, you actually will affect the function of your nervous system. Your nervous system is housed within your spine and within your skull. And if we put your skull and your spine into an abnormal position, we will affect the function of the nervous system. And that effect can cause your body to start experiencing symptoms. Now, in the case of a headache, having the head in that forward position with the chin down is going to cause the muscles in the back of your neck to go into spasm because they're actually trying to pull your head back up into the normal position, so the muscles will go into spasm to try to get you back into the normal position. Now, having that chin down over a period of time will actually cause the bones in your neck to change their shape. And when they start to change their shape, we call that the early stages of arthritis. This abnormal position, this arthritis, this head down position that you're spending 6, 7, 8 hours a day in is going to actually put pressure onto the nerves as they exit the spaces in between your spinal bones. And when the pressure is on those nerves, it's just like anybody else putting pressure on you or getting on your nerve. It causes you to tense up. And that tensing up puts those muscles, which are already in spasm, into further spasms. And those spasms are going to create pain. But not just pain, they're going to put pressure on the blood vessels as they travel through the neck region to try to get to your head. Those spasms and that restricted blood flow lead to headaches that will start giving you that throbbing sensation. So rather than just reaching for an aspirin or reaching for a prescription drug or trying to do anything you can to dismiss the symptoms that you're experiencing, view those symptoms as a flashing light, a warning signal, a beeping smoke detector in your house, in your structural house, your body, that something is not right and needs attention. One of the things I would really encourage you to do is to go and visit your chiropractor. If you haven't already been to your chiropractor, let's find you a new chiropractor to go to. And make sure that you schedule an appointment so that they can check your structure, your spine, and your function of your nervous system. If your spine is out of alignment, it can lead to a whole host of symptoms. But we're talking mainly today about those headaches. And if your neck is out of alignment, it could start to cause you to have those headaches. It could cause you to have that burning sensation across your shoulders, that pain down into the arms, and that numbness and tingling in the hands. Over time, it will cause you to have pain in your hands while you're sleeping, where you wake up in the middle of the night and having to shake your hands because they've gone numb, they're tingly, or there's a burning sensation in your hands. If you're experiencing that, it's an indication that the problem has been there for quite some time. The longer the problem has been there, the more it's going to take to correct it. So let's start by paying attention to the symptoms in our body and honoring those symptoms, recognizing that that's your body's way of giving you a warning signal that it's time to take better care of itself. So if you start realizing and experiencing those symptoms, I want you to make a visit with your chiropractor so that they can check the structure of your spine to be sure that the bones are in proper alignment. And they can check the function of your nervous system to be sure that the nerves are flowing freely, sending proper signal from the brain down the spinal cord, out the nerves to every structure that that nerve travels to. Because if we leave that problem for a long period of time, if we leave that issue uncorrected, if we continue to experience symptoms and just mask them so that we can get on with our day but never address the cause, we set ourselves up for a lifetime of sickness and disease. What does it look like when you go visit your chiropractor? Well, first and foremost, they're going to do a history. They're going to talk to you and find out what's bothering you, how long that problem has been bothering you, and what it's going to take to start helping you feel better. What is this problem preventing you from doing? And then they're going to do an exam where they'll see exactly what's going on with your spine and with your muscles and figure out where the disconnection is happening. They may take some x-rays, they may do a nerve scan. Both of those are designed to find the structure and the function of your nervous system. And based on all of those findings, your chiropractor will lay out a plan of care to help you get the best results in the shortest amount of time so that you can start functioning at optimum levels and start experiencing life to its fullest potential. Now, when you go visit your chiropractor, don't forget about your family. Be sure to bring your children with you because children are also experiencing symptoms on a day-to-day basis. And maybe they're not as pronounced as the migraine that you may be experiencing, but for children, they may have a fall today, they may trip tomorrow, they may have a little sports injury the next day, maybe they fell out of bed, or maybe they're just so stressed out from sitting at school, focusing on their work and doing their homework, that their body starts to experience some of the aches and pains that maybe you've been experiencing. Now, children don't necessarily need to have symptoms, and neither do you, in order to be checked by a chiropractor. Because the main goal is to make sure that your spine is working at optimum levels so that your nervous system can function free of interference. So what do? Well, we look for children to see if they've had any falls. We want to find out how their birth experience was. We want to find out what their daily life habits are and any sports that they may be playing and any injuries that they may have experienced. And then we also want to know how they are doing when it comes to their health. How often do they get sick? Have they ever had colic? Have they ever experienced ear infections? How often do they run a fever? How often are your children not feeling well or experiencing symptoms, or maybe just having mood alterations? Maybe they're cranky one minute, maybe they're happy the next. Let's figure out exactly what's going on with your child so we can help them experience optimum health. Children shouldn't be sick, and children certainly shouldn't be experiencing symptoms. This is such a beautiful time in their life, and they should be able to live free of interference with their bodies functioning at optimum levels. So let's get them started on a healthy path at an early age by being sure to include your family when you go and visit your chiropractor. Now, there's many chiropractors who specialize in seeing pregnant women and newborn babies. There are a numerous amount of chiropractors that specialize in seeing sports athletes, injuries, and optimum performance for sports people. You may want to find out who in your area can help you and your family get to the optimum state of health that you're looking for. So we've made it easy for you to find a chiropractor in your area. You can visit any one of our websites. So I would encourage you to get yourself and your family scheduled for a visit with your chiropractor so that you and your family can start to experience health at your best levels. Now don't go away, because when we come back, I'm going to show you some great healthy options for food choices for you and your family. So stay right there.